All right, so it's been 2 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and start.
Robert bought 2 movie tickets for $10. Dion spent $20 on 4 movie tickets. Let's find the price per ticket. Complete each statement.
All right, so we gotta ask ourselves, how did we get from 2 to 10 to 4 to 20? So how did the first number 2 get to 4? And how did the second number 10 get to 20? So the way that happened was we did 2 times 2 to get to 4. And we did 10 times 2 to get to 20. So you multiply both quantities by 2.
When 2 ratios are equal, you can write them as a proportion.
So then if you want to get to 1, you work backwards. You can either start at 210 or you can start at 420. It doesn't really matter. So I'll start at 210. So to get from 2 to 1, you gotta divide by 2. So if I divide by 2 on the left side, to get from 10 to this number, I gotta divide by 2 on the right side. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this is 5. But if you would have started at 420, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 20 divided by 4 is also 5. So you still get the same answer. One ticket is $5.
The ratios in the table all have the same unit rate, $5 for 1 ticket. A set of equivalent ratios like this represents a proportional relationship.
All right, Queen Africa, you still can't hear anything. Hold on. All right, can anybody else hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so Queen Africa, I'm gonna kick you out of the meeting and then I'll call you back in and see if that fixes it. Oh, I guess you can't hear that, but let me do that. Oh, whoops. All right, so hopefully she can get back in.
Nina walks on the path around the pond at the city park. When she walks around the path 1 time, Nina has completed 1 lap. The table shows the distance Nina walks based on the number of laps she completes. Let's find the distance Nina walks after completing 1 lap. Complete each statement.
All right, Queen Africa, can you hear me now? Yes, all right, perfect. All right, so on this, to find out if the table's proportional, you're doing the miles over the laps. So you're doing miles divided by laps. So they're telling you 1 mile divided by 2 laps. But if they didn't tell you that, if you have a table that looks like this, it's the right divided by the left. But anyways, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So then the same thing for the second row, the right divided by the left. So 2 divided by 4, that's also 0.5. So whenever you divide the y by the x, it doesn't say y and x, but whenever you have a table like this, the y is always the right and the x is always the left. And you get the same answer for every single set of data. So here we got 0.5 and 0.5. That is proportional. So when you do that and you get the same answer for all the data, it's proportional. If you don't get the same answer, it's not proportional.
The unit rate in a proportional relationship is called the constant of proportionality. Here, the constant of proportionality is the length of 1 lap, or 5/10.
And then whenever they ask you for the constant of proportionality, that's when you get the same answer for the whole table. And that answer is called the constant of proportionality. So if you ever have a question that says, what is the constant of proportionality? That means you just divide the y by the x for all the data points, and you should get the same answer. And whatever that answer is, that's the constant of proportionality.
A traditional Spanish guitar is built with nylon strings, and part of the guitar neck is attached inside the body. Luis is learning to play traditional Spanish guitar from his grandfather. The table shows the total number of hours he practiced over 3 days. Let's find out if Luis practices the same amount of time each day. Complete each statement.
All right, Farge, how many hours did Luis practice on day 1? All right. Sergio, how many hours did Luis practice on day 1? You said what?
1.5.
1.5. All right, so then it says over the first 2 days, Luis practiced blank hours per day. So if you remember from our unit rate stuff, you have hours per day. That means you got hours on top and days on the bottom. So remember, it's the top divided by the bottom. So Sergio, what do you get when you do the hours divided by days for 2 days?
1.5
How did you get that?
by dividing it by 2. Well, it's technically adding 1.5 plus 1.5 equals 3.0.
Right, but let's say you didn't see that row. Let's say they didn't give this on
that's
the
what
table. How would you know it's 1.5?
By dividing it by 2.
Or what do you?
So 3.0 divided
Correct.
by 2.
So hours divided by days. So 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5.
There's another way that you can see it too.
All right, hold on real quick. All right, Jaquise, what's the other way?
You can see that 2 is at 3, and then if you look at 3, it's going to be 4.5. So since you see it's going to go up by 1.5 over and over and over again, you can minus it, minus 1.5 from 3, and it'll give you the 1 in the first.
Yes, that does work if you're at 2, but if you're at a different number, that wouldn't work. And if the table wasn't proportional, that wouldn't work, but we're going to figure out that this table is proportional. But yeah, you're correct. To get to 1, you could minus 1 day's worth, which is 1.5 from the 3, and that will tell you how much 1 day's worth is. Sergio, what's this one? Sergio, are you still there? All right. All right.
4.5.
Nope. Look, it's hours per day. So it's the same thing, hours over days.
Oh, so I'm dividing by it? Dividing?
Yes, you're going to be dividing the hours by the days.
Well, you just have to divide. It's the same thing. It's 1.5.
Yes, 4.5 divided by 3, and it gives you 1.5. All right, so Sergio, these were the unit rates. So are these unit rates the same or not the same?
The same.
And when the unit rates are the same, is it proportional or not proportional?
Is proportional.
And then when it is proportional, the answer that you got is the constant of proportionality. So what's the constant of proportionality here?
1.5?
Yes. Unit rate and constant of proportionality are like the same thing. So like I was telling you all, remember the y divided by the x. The right side's always the y. The left side's always the x.
Tony practices the piano 6 days a week. The table shows the total number of hours she practiced 1 week. Let's find out if she practiced the same amount of time each day. Complete each statement.
All right. We'll go with Jacques. For this one, over 2 days, how many hours per day did Tony practice?
Zero 0.5.
All right, how'd you get that?
Because you're gonna have practice at the top and that day at bottom.
Yeah, and then you did,
I mean 0.5.
yeah, 1 over 2. So 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. All right, what about for 4 days?
4 days is gonna be 3 divided by 4.
Yes. And what's that give you?
I need to use my calculator. I need to calculate. .75.
Yes, that's correct. So for those that didn't hear, hours over days, 3 over 4. So 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. All right, and then Jacques, the unit rate is the same or is not the same?
Not the same.
All right, how did you know it was not the same?
Because the outcome of both is different.
Right, these would have to both be the same for this answer to be is. And if these are not the same, is it proportional or not proportional?
Not proportional.
Right.
Harper recently started a babysitting job. She puts money in a savings account each week from her earnings. The table shows the total amount in Harper's account each week after she makes a deposit. Is the amount Harper saves proportional to the number of weeks?
All right, so on this one, we got amount Harper saves proportional to number of weeks. So whatever they ask for first goes on top, and whatever they ask for second goes on the bottom. Or just like when we had the other table, the left was the X and the right was the Y. On this type of table, the top is the X and the bottom is the Y. And it's always Y divided by X. So amount Harper saves, oh, that matches up here with the dollars. Just like I said, that's going to go on top. Then I said whatever they ask for second goes on the bottom, and I also told you the X always goes on the bottom. So, oh, look, the weeks and number of weeks, they match up. So weeks goes on the bottom. So then you just do dollars divided by weeks. So we'll go with Kayla. Kayla, you're the only Kayla in this class now. So Kayla, what is dollars divided by weeks for 1 week?
Dollars divided by weeks?
Yes.
I don't know.
25 divided by 1.
25.
All right. Then for the next one, for 2 weeks, what's this one going to be?
22.
22 point what?
Five.
Correct. 22.5.
22.5.
All right. Then what about for the third week?
25.
All right. So is this proportional?
No,
Why is it not proportional?
because they're not equal.
Right. These unit rates are all different. For it to be proportional, they have to be the same.
Nice job. Which statement tells why the amount Harper saves is not proportional to the number of weeks?
All right. So on this one, the right answer is going to be the first or second one.
It's the first.
one. The first one and third one are basically the same, but if you pick the third one, they're going to tell you it's wrong because they're saying you're not supposed to even check the third week if the second week and first week aren't the same. So that's why they want you to pick the first one, because when you check the second week, it was different than the first one. So you don't even need to check the third week. You just know it's not proportional because the first two are different.
Let's find the amount saved per week over 2 weeks and compare it to 1 week. Complete each statement.
All right, so Kayla Reyes. The amount saved in week 1 is how much?
$25.
That's correct.
Wait, mine's different.
What's yours say?
It says Ramona's restaurant sells agua fresca in different sizes, as shown in the table.
Oh, you're
Mine too.
you're ahead. That's going to be the next question.
Hmm?
I believe that's the next question.
Oh,
So I think you're ahead. But if not, I'm pretty sure you know the answer. All right, Kayla, what's the average for 2 weeks or the unit rate?
25.
No, remember 45 divided by 2.
22.5, I meant.
So 22.50, well, since it's money.
Yeah.
And then the amount saved in 1 week is the same or is not the same?
Is not. Same.
right.
Great. The relationship is not proportional, so there is no constant of proportionality.
For there to be a constant of proportionality, they have to all be the same. So if they're not the same and it's not proportional, there is no constant of proportionality.
Agua fresca is a fruity drink made by blending water, fruit, lime juice, and a little bit of sugar. Ramona's Restaurante sells agua fresca in different sizes, as shown in the table. Is the price of the drink proportional to the number of ounces?
All right, we'll go
Can I
with David. Is this one going to be yes or no?
Which one? Yes.
Yes. All right. How did you know that?
Cause I just did it, and cause how you call it? Since it's a like bigger size of drink, it's gonna cost. I don't know how to explain it, bruh.
So, is it going to be dollars?
Like-
I mean, ounces over dollars or dollars over ounces?
Ounces over dollars.
Remember, whatever they ask for first goes on the top. So, price of drink, that's dollars. And also,
Alright.
if you don't want to look at the problem, if you just look at the table, it's always the bottom divided by the top. But so now that we know it's dollars over ounces, you just have to do the dollars divided by ounces for each of them. And since you said yes, I'm guessing you got the same answer for all of them.
Yes.
All right. So that is correct. That's why it's proportional.
Another way you can look at it is that if you look at 24 and the 12 one, you can see that if you take away the decimal point and take away the 0, 12, so it's 2 is 24, and the same thing you could do for 16 and 20.
Yes, that's another way. So that's good. You recognize a connection or relationship. 12 times 2 is 24, 16 times 2 is 32, 20 times 2 is 40. You take away the last 0 and the decimal point. That's the type of stuff we like to see.
Which statement tells why the price of the drink is proportional to the number of ounces?
All right, so David, when you did dollars divided by ounces and got that same answer for all of them, what was that answer?
The last one?
Not the last one. What's 2.40
Oh no.
divided by 12?
So it's $2 per ounces.
No, just tell me what's 2.40 divided by 12 because it's dollars over ounces. So $2.40 divided by 12 ounces. You can use a calculator if you want.
Alright. $0.2.
All right. Then what about for 3.2 divided by 16?
$0.2.
And then what about 4 divided by 20?
$0.2.
So now that you know it's 0.2, which one of these do you think the answer is?
The first one.
Right, because in money, 0.2 is 0.20.
Let's compare the price per ounce of each drink size. Complete each statement.
All right. So, David, what was the price per ounce of a 12-ounce drink?
Who?
David.
2.40.
No, when you did the 2.40 divided by 12.
Oh, 0.2.
So in money, that was 0. What?
20.
20. What about this one?
The same thing.
All right. And then what about this one?
The same thing.
So is it the same or is it not the same?
It's the same.
Correct.
The relationship is proportional. The price per ounce is 20 cents, so the constant of proportionality is 20 hundredths. The table shows the ratios of points to correct answers in a trivia contest. Plot each ratio in the table in the coordinate plane.
All right, so to plot these points, correct answers is on the bottom, points is on the left side. And like I told you, when you have a table like this, the left side is always X, the right side is always Y. So you go to 1 and 20. So go to 1 and go up to 20, do a point. Go to 2, go up to 40. Go to 3, go up to 60. Go to 4, go up to 80. All right. And then, what you do to check these, you do a straight line. So I'm going to draw a straight line from the last point to the origin. So then I check to see if all the points are on the line. And yes, they're on the line, so they lie on a line, on a straight line. That goes through the origin, because this line is going through 0, 0. So for a graph to be proportional, it has to be a straight line and it has to go through the origin. It can't just go through the origin and not be a straight line, or it can't just be a straight line and not go through the origin.
The graph of a proportional relationship is a
It's
straight line
linear.
that goes through the point 0, 0, which is called the origin.
All right, Jaquez, what did you say?
It's leaner or liner. I forgot which one to call.
Wait, say it again.
It's leaner or liner.
Oh,
Is one of those.
linear.
That's the name of it.
Yeah. Linear means it's a straight line. Non-linear means the points are not on a straight line.
Science Club members are buying t-shirts for the science fair. They are having artwork created and printed on each shirt. The printing company charges a fixed amount for creating the artwork and then charges an additional amount based on the number of shirts purchased. The graph shows the price, including artwork, for different numbers of shirts. Let's see if the relationship between the cost and number of t-shirts purchased is proportional. Start with 20 shirts. Complete each statement.
So, like I said, you're gonna go to the last point and draw the line all the way to the origin. All right, the price per shirt when buying 20 shirts is, well, actually, we don't have to do that yet because they didn't ask about that. So to find out how much it is for 20 shirts, you gotta go to the shirts and find 20. So Queen Africa, this one's gonna be for you. So you go to 20, then you go up to the point and see what the y is. Because remember, this is always the x, this is always the y. And remember, we're doing y divided by x, or y over x. All right, so Queen Africa, when you're at this point right here, 20 shirts, what is the y divided by the x? Yes, and what's that equal? Yes, you use a calculator for this to save time. Five, yes. 100 divided by 20 is 5. All right, now Queen Africa, do the same thing for 40 shirts. So you got to go find the point that has 40 shirts and do the y divided by the x. No, not 40 divided by 10. It's 180 divided by 40. You find the 40 because it says 40 shirts. So you find 40 on the shirts, and then you go and find the point that has 40 shirts. And then you see what the y is, and then do y divided by x. All right, so are you able to get it? 180 divided by 40? Yes, 4.5. So in money, that's 4.50. So now we can do our drawing. So are these on a straight line that goes through the origin, or does it not go through the origin? Queen Africa, it's still your turn. Yeah, so it does not go through the origin. So it is a straight line. So I'll show you all. They are on a straight line, but they're just not on a straight line that goes through the origin.
Even though the graph is a straight line, it does not go through the origin. The unit rate is not the same, so the price per shirt is not a proportional relationship. The printing company offers another option for buyers who do not want to have artwork created. The graph shows the cost for different numbers of shirts purchased. Choose all the statements that tell why this relationship is not proportional.
All right, so I'm going to draw my straight line from the last point to the origin. So, Jacques, which two answers are reasons why this is not proportional?
It does not go in a straight line, and the quantity per shirt is not the same.
All right, so it's obvious why it's not a straight line because we drew the line and like the points aren't on there. But how did you know that the price is not the same?
Because if you look at it, no, well, me, I just kept on using. I just used. I just used. I used a little bit of just thinking, and I saw that wasn't straight, so I just did it. I'm pretty sure that's not how you do it still.
Yeah, so like if you make the straight line and the points aren't on the straight line through the origin, that means the shirts can't be the same price. Like you don't even have to do the math. You just know, oh, it's not a straight line through the origin. So if it's not a straight line through the origin, then they're not the same.
That's it. The graph shows the amount of money Nationwide Shipping Company pays its drivers for miles driven at work. Complete each statement.
So I'm going to do my line from the last point to the origin. All right, go with Sergio. Is the amount drivers paid per mile the same or not the same?
The same.
How'd you know that?
Because it's adding by.
Well, without doing any math. How can you know it just by looking at the picture?
Hmm. Hmm. I would say because it was going a straight line.
It's a straight line and what else?
It's adding by 100, so it's 100, 200. So.
Well, it's a straight line that goes through the origin. That's how we know it's the same. So even if this didn't have any numbers down here or anything, we could still know it's the same just because it's a straight line that goes through the origin. So you all have to remember that. Proportional is straight line that goes through the origin. So you'll save a lot of time if you know that definition. So since it is a straight line and goes through the origin and the prices are the same, is it proportional or not proportional?
Proportional.
All right. Then when they ask for the constant of proportionality, now you have to do math. So now, what is the constant of proportionality?
100.
No. Remember, I told you constant of proportionality is the y divided by the x. So you got to find a point on the graph, then do the y value divided by the x value.
Hmm. $2.5.
No, you did the x divided by the y. We need the y divided by the x.
0.4.
Yes, 0.4. So for those that don't know where that came from, if you pick any of these points, so like this one, it'd be 40 divided by 100. You get 0.4. if you pick this one right here, 80 divided by 200, you get 0.4. Let's say you pick this point, 120 divided by 300, you get 0.4. You pick this point, 160 divided by 400, you get 0.4. So no matter which one you pick, you're going to get 0.4.
Coach Rowley has determined how many calories he burns while riding his exercise bike. The graph shows the number of calories he burned after biking different numbers of minutes.
All right, Kayla. So on this one, is the calories burned per minute the same or not the same?
This
All right, how'd you know it's the same?
because they're all the same.
Like without doing any math, how would you know that they're the same?
It goes in a straight line.
And what else? What about this? Because you said it's a straight line. So what about this one here? This is a straight line. So with the
Oh, also because it starts at the origin.
yeah, when it goes to the origin.
There's a-
So is it proportional or not proportional?
Proportional.
Correct. Then I think they're going to ask you for the constant of proportionality. All right, so what is the constant of proportionality?
.10.
That's if you did the x divided by the y. Remember, it's the y divided by the x.
.1.
No.
0.1.
That's when you do the x divided by y. You get 0.10 or 0.1 if you do 2 divided by 20. But we don't want to do x divided by y. We want to do y divided by x.
So it's not
It
10.
is 10. I thought you said 0.10 at first. But you just said regular 10,
Oh,
so
no.
you were correct, man. I misheard you. So, or you could do 40 divided by 4, 60 divided by 6, 80 divided by 8. They all give you 10.
When Danny was born, her half-brother, Gabe, was 3 years old. The graph shows Danny's and Gabe's ages over different years. Complete each statement.
All right, David. Are these points on a straight line that goes through the origin?
What?
Are these 4 points on a straight line that goes through the origin?
No.
Oh, that's correct. Does not go through the origin. So since it is a straight line but doesn't go through the origin, is it proportional or not proportional?
It's proportional.
Nope. Remember, proportional means it's got to be a straight line, which it is, but it has to also go through the origin. So if it doesn't go through the origin, it doesn't matter if it's a straight line. It's not proportional. So it's going to be not proportional because it's a straight line that doesn't go through the origin.
The graph shows the number of grams of protein in different amounts of Greek yogurt. Complete each statement.
All right. Queen Africa. Is the number of grams of protein per ounce the same or not the same? All right. How do you know it's the same? All right. So it is the same. The reason you know it's the same without doing any math is because it fits the criteria of a straight line that goes through the origin, which is 0, 0. So that's why it's the same. You also could do the math, and if you did the math, the y divided by x, y divided by x, y divided by x, and y divided by x, you'd get the same answer. But that's going to take too long. You got to do 4 different math problems to figure that out. Whereas you could just look at the graph and see it's a straight line that goes through the origin. And since it's a straight line that goes through the origin, is it proportional or not proportional? Yeah. So if the line wasn't straight and it went through the origin, it would not be proportional. So like a line like this. So that one, it goes through the origin, but it's not straight. So that one wouldn't be proportional. But this one is a straight line and it goes through the origin. So is it proportional or not proportional? All right, well, this one is proportional because it's a straight line that goes through the origin. And remember, this right here would not be proportional. Even though this line's straight, it doesn't go through the origin. So remember, proportional, straight line, and goes through the origin.
You got it.
All right, so Queen Africa, what's the constant of proportionality? If you don't remember how to do it, it's y divided by x. You pick any of the points. It doesn't matter which point. You can pick this one, this one, this one, or this one, and do the y divided by the x. If you do the last one, yeah, the first number is 20 on the last one, and the second number is 8. So you got to do 20 divided by 8. Yeah, 2.5. So the constant of proportionality is 2.5. It doesn't matter which one you did. 5 divided by 2, 10 divided by 4, 15 divided by 6, or 20 divided by 8. They all give you 2.5.